Today I'm going to do a quick video on the Broadlink RM Mini 3, also referred to as the Black Bean. This device will allow you to control devices that usually use an infrared remote, such as DVD players, air conditioners and TVs, using an Android or iOS phone or tablet. Thanks to some developers, it's also possible to interact with the device using Python and MQTT, making it suitable for use with home automation systems such as OpenHab, Home Assistant, or even your own project. First of all, let's take a look at the box. The front of the box shows a picture of the device and the common App Store badges. On this side we have some specifications. The main specs worth noting are the Wi-Fi, which is 2.4 GHz only, and the USB current, which is 500 milliamps. The device isn't supplied with a power supply, but due to its low current requirements you should be able to use any USB power supply that you have lying around the house. On the back of the box there is an infographic which shows possible use cases such as set-top box, TV, air conditioner, audio systems and more. And then on the last side of the box we've got some icons that indicate potential uses such as real-time control, timer control, healthy sleep, cloud IR codes, smart match, cloud panel, quick learning, scene mode and intelligent triggers. There's also a QR code for downloading the application onto your mobile phone. One thing I should also mention is one of the main selling points of this device, which is the price. I paid £19 for this particular one off Amazon because I was in a rush and I wanted it next day delivery. But they are available from China for sort of £12–13. So if you're not in a rush or you want to buy one, have a play with it and then potentially expand it to other rooms, yeah, they're really cheap. I mean, £12. At one stage I considered creating my own. I started using Arduino's, ESP8266s, and all the rest of it, but for £12 you'd really struggle to build something of this sort of quality for that kind of money. So yeah, that's definitely a selling point for me. I'm generally like to do things cheap and cheerful where I can. Okay, so now we've taken a look at the outside of the box, it's time to open it up. This is just a cover that slides over the box. If you pull this flap here, it should give you a bit something to pull on. And then there we go. So it comes in a pretty plain box inside. Cheap and cheerful. Okay, so first of all we've got a USB cable. It's just a micro USB on one end and then the sort of standard USB-A connector on the other end. As I mentioned earlier, there's no power supply, so you will have to provide your own USB power source to plug this into. Okay, this is the user guide. There's a couple of QR codes there to follow their various social media accounts. There's one here to install the application. Some brief instructions on how to get it all plugged in and connected. And then some instructions on using the app. It's all pretty simple. What I would suggest is don't plug it in straight away. Get the app installed, get ready to configure it, and then plug it in. If you've already plugged it in, it's not a big deal. You just have to run through the reset process. But if you've got the app ready, then you plug it in, the light will flash, and then you can get configuring. And then this is the RM Mini 3 itself, or the Black Bean. So called because it's black and bean shaped. Oops. So I'll move this out of the way briefly. There's some protection on the top here which we shall remove, and then there's a bit more on the side. And this is it. So as you can see, it's pretty small. There's an LED indicator here that's not currently lit. The top side, this is where the infrared comes out of. Now the infrared is quite interesting. There's actually approximately 6 LEDs pointing in every single direction, so you've got really good coverage. You don't need to worry about sort of pointing this at certain devices. I've got another one which I've been testing with, and as long as it's in the same room as the device, it generally seems to work. There's also an infrared receiver in here for learning devices. So the way it works with the app certainly and the sort of Python implementations is you put it into learn mode, you fire a remote at it, and then it will memorize the code, and then next time you can replay the code using the app or Python or MQTT, and then it'll just transmit it out the infrared. There is a teardown video, a really good teardown video of these. I'll link it in the comments below. But essentially the infrared receiver is facing towards the front, it's facing towards this light. So if you're in learning mode, for ideal coverage, you want to be shooting it into the front. But I don't think it matters too much. Again, I've kind of fired it into the top and the other sides, and it just seems to pick it up. It's generally quite good. But there's very little to this device. There's some more information there, and then on the back you got the micro USB for power, and then the reset. All the reset does is it puts it back into configuration mode to get it hooked up to the Wi-Fi. And that's it. So the next step is I'm going to get the app installed on my phone, and then we'll cover getting it set up. Okay, so I'm now going to cover installing the Broadlink eControl app. I use Android, so I've gone to the Play Store and searched for eControl. If you use an Apple device, you'd go to the App Store and then search for eControl. If in doubt, you can always scan the QR code that's provided in the user guide, and that should take you to the relevant application. So I'm going to hit install and then accept the permissions. It's just going to download. And then it's just installing. Okay, so that's the app installed. So I'm going to click on open. It's going to display a splash screen, followed by this sign-in page. I have signed in previously. It allows you to back up some of the settings to the cloud, which may be useful. I'm going to skip it for now. And then we get a warning about the Alexa support. So the bigger brother of the Black Bean will support Alexa. It's a bit of a kludge because you have to install an application on your phone that's always running in the background. Alexa will speak to that app, and then the app speaks to the Black Bean. So it's a bit of a kludge. I don't like having to always have an application running. Especially on an Android device. If it's on a server, then that's fine, but not on something like a phone. So I'm going to cancel this, and then it's going to take us to the home page. These two scenes at the top, living room and scene of getting up, they're just examples. They're empty, so we can ignore those for now. I'm going to hit the plus on the top right corner, and then add device, and then it's going to show this page. So on this page, you need to enter your Wi-Fi password and select the relevant Wi-Fi network. Word of warning, my phone defaults to my 5 GHz network, but obviously the Black Bean has only got support for 2.4 GHz. So if you have different SSIDs for different frequencies, you just need to make sure that you're using the correct one. So I've corrected my SSID so it connects to the 2.4 GHz network, and now I'm going to enter my Wi-Fi password. Okay, so now I've entered my Wi-Fi password. I'm going to plug in the Black Bean for the first time. If you have already plugged it in, you can just hit the reset button, but you should see the blue light flashing on the front rapidly to show it's in configuration mode. And then I'm going to hit configure in the app. So that's now going to do its thing. It'll take a minute or two whilst it configures. It does seem to take a fair old while. So we'll just wait for that. Okay, so we're almost there. I can see the blue light on the black bean is now flashing slowly. That means it's in configuration mode. And now we've returned to the home screen. So if I go to device list, this is my black bean here. If I click edit name, I'm just going to save it something useful. If you've got more than one, it helps to differentiate between them. Helps if I spell it correctly. So I'm going to save that, done, and then hit save. There we go. So now, once I add the second one on the network, I can differentiate between them. That's it for the configuration. So the next step is to add a remote, and then we can configure the black bean to communicate with our device over infrared using the app. Okay, so now we have configured the black bean and connected it to the Wi-Fi. It's time to add a device. So we press the plus in the top right corner, add remote. It's going to give a list of the available options. We're going to go with TV first of all. Now I quite like this app because it provides a sort of familiar TV remote layout. I'm going to make it black because everything looks better in black, right? The way this works is you press a button in the app, the black bean will then go into learning mode. You then point the remote at the black bean, press the button, and it's going to save it. So if I press the plus volume button, it's going to tell me to operate the remote. So I'm going to point the remote at the black bean and press volume up. Then the white light's going to go out. Okay, so that was saved successfully. We're going to do the same thing for volume down. The white light goes out, so that's been learnt. And that's it for the learning the buttons. Obviously you would go through and configure the rest of them. There's also more option. You can go user defined, learn single. So we use a sleep button quite a lot. We set a 20-minute timer when we go to bed, and then it turns off as we drift off to sleep. So I'm going to press the sleep button on the remote. You'll see the white light go out. And that's been saved successfully. We're going to hit that button again, edit. I'm going to call it sleep. Hit done, save, and there we've got our sleep button. So I'm going to hit back. It's going to take us to this page. And now if we click on the TV, it's going to show our remote. Now the buttons that we've actually learnt are highlighted and the others remain greyed out. So if I hit the plus button on the app, you'll see the white button, the white light blink on the black bean, which indicated it's transmitted the infrared. We'll do the same for volume down, and there's the white light again. So that's all set up and working now. So the next step is to go and test it on the TV. Okay, so I've relocated to the room with the TV that we just configured. I've taken the black bean with me and plugged it in and given it a few minutes just to connect to the Wi-Fi and get warmed up. So now if I'm in the Broadlink app, I go to TV. It's going to open up the remote. If I hit plus on the volume, We can see on the TV screen it goes up almost instantaneously. If I hit down, it goes down. Take it all the way down. So it works, and it works very well. I will cover the Python and MQTT options further down the road, and sort of integrating it with bits and pieces there. But that's it. So thanks for watching.